One quiet Saturday afternoon in a small English town, Margaret Thompson stepped out of a shoe shop, holding a bag with her new shoes. They weren't expensive, but Margaret was delighted with them. At 73 years old, she didn't have much money to spare. As she walked home, she thought about making herself a nice cup of tea. And later, she said to herself, I can take a walk in my new shoes. The streets were peaceful, almost too peaceful. Suddenly, Margaret heard footsteps behind her. Before she could turn around, someone rushed up, struck her on the head, and snatched her handbag. She fell backward onto the pavement, dazed. When she looked up, she saw a tall young man with messy brown hair staring down at her for a brief moment. Then he ran off, clutching her bag under his arm. "Help! Please help!" Margaret cried, but no one came. After a few minutes, she slowly got up and made her way to the nearest house. The kind residents gave her a cup of tea and called an ambulance. At the hospital, the doctor examined her. "You're going to be fine," he assured her. "Just take it easy for a couple of days." "Can my husband help me?" Margaret asked softly. "I'm afraid not," she replied. "He passed away 8 years ago. It's just me now." "Well," the doctor said sympathetically, "we don't want you falling ill or having an accident at home. You should stay here tonight, and maybe tomorrow as well." Later that evening, a policeman visited Margaret at the hospital. "Tell me about the person who stole your bag," he asked gently. "I didn't see anyone else on the street when I called for help," Margaret explained. "But there was a young man, a tall fellow with long, dirty brown hair. He wore blue jeans and a white shirt with a football logo on it." "What was in your bag?" the officer inquired. "A little cash. And, oh," Margaret paused, her eyes widening. "My lottery ticket. I buy one every Saturday. Those numbers are special to me. They're always the same: 5, 12, 23, 24, 38, 41. I've played them for years, because they mean something personal." The policeman nodded, jotting everything down in his notebook. "Did you get a good look at his face?" "Yes," Margaret replied firmly. "When I fell, he stood over me. For a second, I saw him clearly." Using a photocomposite kit, the officer helped Margaret piece together a picture of the thief. "What about his shoes?" the policeman asked suddenly. That's when Margaret remembered her new shoes. "They're gone!" she exclaimed, tears welling up in her eyes. A nurse intervened, asking the officer to leave, so Margaret could rest. Meanwhile, across town, Oliver Bennett returned to his cramped flat on the top floor of a rundown building. At 22 years old, Oliver had no job and survived by stealing. That day, he'd grabbed an elderly woman's bag, but what did he find inside? £2.74 and some stupid lottery ticket, he muttered angrily. Still, he slipped the ticket into his pocket and forgot about it. Back at the hospital, Margaret settled into a shared room with other patients. There was a TV, and at 8 p.m., everyone tuned in to watch the lottery results. For a moment, Margaret glanced at the screen, but exhaustion overtook her, and she drifted off to sleep. She never heard the winning numbers announced. The next morning, Oliver flipped through the newspaper while sipping tea. His eyes landed on the winning lottery numbers: 5, 12, 23, 24, 38, 41. He checked his 5 tickets, no luck. Then, remembering the stolen ticket, he pulled it out and compared the numbers. "No way," he whispered, checking again and again. 6 matching numbers. I'm rich. Overwhelmed with excitement, he ran to show his mother. "Look, Mum. 6 numbers. 10 million quid." His mother dropped her cigarette in shock. "Are you serious?" "Yes." Oliver grinned. "I'm buying a mansion, a sports car, and heading straight to New York and Miami. That evening, Margaret watched the news from her living room. The reporter introduced the week's lottery winner, Oliver Bennett. He's 22 years old and now worth £10 million, the anchor declared. When Margaret saw Oliver's face, her heart sank. "That's him," she gasped. "The man who attacked me and stole my ticket." Without hesitation, she picked up the phone and dialed the police. At 10 p.m., Oliver was celebrating in a luxurious hotel suite, filled with champagne, reporters, and flashing cameras. Dressed in an expensive suit, he toasted to his newfound fortune. But just as he raised his glass, two policemen entered the room. "Oliver Bennett," one of them said sternly, "we need to ask you some questions at the station." Confused and nervous, Oliver followed them. Back at the station, he faced hours of questioning. Despite his attempts to deny involvement, evidence mounted against him. Margaret's detailed account, the composite sketch, and even witnesses who saw him fleeing the scene all pointed to his guilt. Desperate, Oliver tried to argue that the ticket was rightfully his. "I bought it. It was my money," he insisted. But then, Edwin Jones, Margaret's lawyer, revealed a crucial detail. Margaret always marked her tickets with a small X as a symbolic kiss for her son in Australia. When authorities examined the winning ticket, sure enough, there was an X. Faced with undeniable proof, Oliver broke down. Okay, he admitted. "I took the bag, but I didn't know it was hers. I thought it was just some random ticket." Despite his confession, justice prevailed. The court ruled in favor of Margaret, returning the £10 million prize to its rightful owner. With her winnings, Margaret fulfilled her lifelong dream of visiting her son, Simon, in Australia. She also donated a portion of her fortune to charity, ensuring others could benefit from her good fortune. As for Oliver, he served time for his crime but emerged a changed man. Inspired by Margaret's generosity, he vowed to turn his life around and give back to society. The story became a nationwide sensation, reminding everyone that honesty truly is the best policy, and sometimes karma has a way of balancing the scales.